Man, it's kind of crazy. Got the whole light set up. Feels really good, you know. Got been ready to do YouTube. You know, the cool thing is like I'm in the middle, but I can kind of be off to the sides because I really don't have a bad side. So it's like anywhere you put me would have worked.
You don't have a good side either, though. So.
We just like introduced the podcast, but now we're got a network. So welcome everybody to the Semi-Pro Joe's Network with me, myself, Mimi, my man Wally B.
Yeah.
And and this is the Two Guys and a Girl podcast that will be on the network. So hi world. Hi everyone. Our other cameras.
Where's the other one? Oh, that ring light bright. Okay, they're right there.
Give him crap. When I said it was bright, you building down in front of the pressure. You can't take the pressure.
Hey, let me borrow your Batman ass sunglasses though.
You serious? I
get him.
I was not allowed to wear. No, I wasn't allowed to wear them the other week.
Yeah. Because we're cool in different ways and shit.
We're cool in different ways. No, could I tell you when we was growing up? I came in one day, I had like a whole outfit, and I was wearing a hat. You got out of the car, you saw me in my hat, you were like, take that shit off. I didn't wear a hat for 6 years after that. I was like, yo, I was so hurt. I just started wearing hats till like...
dog. Are you serious?
This happened when we were like 16. I just started wearing hats till I was like 22, 23.
Damn, Jay.
No, because it was how he said it. It wasn't like, man, take that shit off. It was like, as your friend, I don't need you ever wearing a hat again. This is a bad look for you and your brand. Do not wear a hat. And I was like, shit. I guess it doesn't look right on my head. I'm always awkward about how big my head is, or it's oval in its shape, and he just gonna go ahead and just kill my whole dreams.
Man, I'm sorry.
No, it was cool. You were mean as shit back then, but it's cool.
Yeah, like, you know, it's funny because like I think about that sometimes, and it's like I wouldn't really like mean. I don't think it just I was impatient and blunt in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it came across as like way more aggressive than it actually was.
And I think it also, back then, when you're that young, like, you're very impressionable, especially with your people.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying out something new...
Yeah.
And I put on a hat, like, I literally would have kept wearing hats at that day, because nobody else had said anything. It was the first thing you said when you seen that. Take that shit off.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, but, you know what I'm saying? It was my man's... It was the person who's, and you also have to have somebody in your crew that's willing to tell you the absolute truth, whether you want it or you're like expecting it, or you're like, "Am I ready for this?" Like, no, you ready right now because I'm telling you right now. And so
that's me. That
was you in the crew. So when you said it, everybody else would have let it rock. You know what I'm saying? But you was like, "Nah, you look ridiculous. Take that off." So.
Here we are.
Yes. Now I don't really wear hats like that.
I've never seen you wear a hat.
See? I'm telling you.
He's never worn a hat in the entire time I've known him.
Now, see where you at is like you're out here and you rock the baldy with confidence. Whereas a lot of people who would have been wearing hats their whole life are just always wearing hats. Mm-hmm. And they like take like 10, 15 years to really be like, all right, I'm bald now.
The comb over doesn't work anymore.
You know really
the little island in the front of the forehead is gone now.
The spray don't do nothing. Like
the Beijing.
Like there's certain people, you know, it ain't no really wrong with it, but there's certain people who just like they take a lot longer to let it go. And I feel like part of that reason is access to hats.
You know who I really get jealous about is the people who have a nice hairline and they have the nerve to wear hats. I'm like, really?
Why are you covering that up?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going bald or anything, but like I've always like gotten the jokes because my hairline go up in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like my forehead like long. So I've always gotten the dang you going bald jokes, and I've always been like, dog, my hairline been back here for a brick. It's been back here. Like don't flamies.
But see, now you have so much hair. It's like you can style it and do all
I
kinds
can
of
do whatever I want.
That's
And I'm
true.
like also entering that age where like all my friends are going bald and I'm not. So like I'm hanging on strong. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations! I was at the age when I was the only one going bald. Y'all weren't exactly the nicest about it.
That was rough, man. Yeah, we weren't. We definitely weren't. Like we kicked all them jokes.
Yeah, savage. But that's where I always get accused of having thin skin. And so
why do I get the look?
but I think it's funny because it's like you couldn't have thin skin. You'd be
Not really.
walled up in the corner, or how we grew up,
Or like leaving the house.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, please stop.
This guy. All right, so as we normally start this, how was everyone's week? How was your week, Mimi?
This week was good, except the fact that we almost died of heat stroke at work. Dude. I know I said I didn't want to talk about it, but the more I thought about it last night, I was like, nah, I almost died at work. I want to talk about it.
No.
Man.
Can I tell you, I sent a panic text to our former manager, and I think I literally said, I understand we're about making a profit around here, but it's way too hot, and this isn't safe.
I got a tan in a dark room. No. It was so hot, I got a tan in a dark room.
That's not cool.
No, remember my cookie was melting?
In your hand, bro.
What?
He had a chocolate chip cookie in the break room, right? And it got so hot in our clinic that as he was talking to me, and not even holding on to the chipped part, but like the baked cookie part, like the chips started getting glossy. And then he looks at his cookie and he's like, maybe my chocolate chips are melting in my cookie.
I showed her my hand because it was like literally coming on my hand. I was like, I could not believe
it got super toasty at work, and I was early. I was not happy about it. Yeah,
that was like around 11.
Yeah, by the time.
Oh man, there were a few days this week where like, I woke up and I looked out the window and I hadn't even done anything yet. I could tell, it's hot as shit.
Yeah.
Like all I had to do was look out the window and then I opened it and it's like the heat smacked me in the face.
Mm-hmm. Now all that thick moisture just hits you.
Now imagine it being like 80, but like 80 with humidity, and you're not getting any cool air. It's just like
that
an insulated
you're trapped in a tiny room.
And then here's the kicker. There's two people in a small room. Body heat. Yeah. Friction.
I'll add up on that.
I got
with a client that does a freaking upgrade, a sugar foot scrub upgrade with 4 hot steamy towels included in that service.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that was my afternoon.
Yeah, because the towel warmer makes the room hotter too. Because
I
got
a question for y'all.
Okay.
Even in these little tiny rooms or whatever, especially when it's hot, it can't be comfortable. Like, do y'all clients ever be like farting and shit in there?
Not all the time, but I have female clients that let some loose.
Well, and that doesn't even have anything to do with the temperature of a room, but because like
the temperature make it worse. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if it's hot and stinky, the fart feel thicker when you breathe it in.
Sometimes it depends. It depends on the delivery of the fart, I would imagine. But I mean, like you have clients that are coming in and they're relaxed, and sometimes more times than not they're asleep. So then they're doing it and they don't even know they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
So you just let it, like everything else, you just kind of like let it slide.
And it's like people when they do yoga, they just sometimes that'll be happening.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't help it
for real.
Yeah, so it's that. So it's sort of that kind of environment. So I don't ever get thrown off by it. I just keep it pushing.
All the jobs I've ever worked where I was client based or in the retail store, like somebody farting was a big deal because like if it's like the store's crowded and a customer does it at the front counter. It just kind of sprays back over the crowd. And then one by one, everybody's like,
what was that? Who did that?
And then, God forbid, it was one of us behind the counter. And then it's really a game. Like, because if it's us, we know who did it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
then you're like, yo, why do I taste it?
Like, yo, God. I can't just be like, dog, why did you let that nasty poot out right here? Because, like, everybody in the store gonna know it was him. Like,
because sometimes you just can't help it.
And that'll affect your sales, man. Oh, yeah. I went to the T-Mobile store. I was waiting in line and some dude behind the counter farted and lit up the whole thing. I had to leave.
I'm about to say, that sounds like an SNL sketch where somebody farts and there's like a mass accident.
Yeah.
People throwing up and passing out on the way.
And it's like a who done it. They try to figure out who did it.
It's like Clue.
One by one, the smell calls one person to just exit.
I don't need an iPhone Pro that bad.
Man, you're right.
All right, so yeah, Mimi almost died.
Ugh, God.
Yeah.
Mimi and I almost died as well.
And you almost your cookie fatality.
Yeah.
Before you even ate it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. But life, c'est la vie. What about you, Wally B? How was your week?
It was cool. I did a lot of work around my little apartment this week, trying to put up artwork and furniture that was just kind of sitting around. So that was fun in anticipation for some family coming down. Yesterday was my birthday.
Yeah. Mr.
Happy
33
birthday.
around
Thank you,
here.
guys. Yeah. I'm getting up there, man. Let me tell you. Excuse me.
Don't. I already just no.
Okay, looking forward.
Nope.
Yep. Looking forward. But no, I wanted to have a stress-free, day celebration. Ended up going great. My family's great. I got to visit my mama. That was fun.
You went to Holloway?
Yeah. I went down to Holloway. We went to get some food at Mrs. K's.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I went to see my cousin at his spot, Caspi Lounge. In Arlington, Virginia.
Nice.
On Columbia Pike. Go visit him. But he hooked me up with a couple drinks.
Was that a paid promo? Is that something?
Hashtag not a promo.
I'm about to say, is there some money we need to bust down?
Oh no, this is just material we can decide to edit out or not.
No, it's fine.
But I went out to get some drinks with him. I came back home. There was they decorated the dining room. Chris and her mom, sisters, had some food, Maggiano's.
I love Maggiano's.
A bunch of other stuff that was, hand prepared. It was a great day.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's like I say, it's always
that.
No, it's good to have days with your family, and it's good to have days where you can be because I haven't seen either one of my folks in years.
Yeah. I know, because
because my mom's all in Georgia and my dad's in South Carolina, so it's nice to have your mom's within driving distance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody don't have that.
Yeah.
Quit covering your face.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. All right. No, I got.
Mr. I've been on TV.
Yeah, that's true. Even though, why do you always give it to me? He's literally changed his look up like Madonna over here 3 or 4 times. With glasses, without glasses. You never say anything to him.
He's our techie. I have to be nice to our techie.
I'm the visionary.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you on. You be mean to me. I'm gonna have you on this junk sounding like Kermit the Frog and shit.
I wanted to do Kermit, but was going to come off like Miss Piggy for some reason. I was going to be like Kermit, and I was like, wait, that's Miss Piggy.
Oh my god.
Anyway, this is off the rails. So my week.
Yeah.
Oh man. My week. Well, for me, I guess I have to start with a little bit why we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Just because it's funny. I look at the number. I don't know about you, but I look at the numbers of the people who download and listen to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't looked recently, but
I was not the numbers guy, and then I became the numbers guy.
I'll be all up in that junk too.
Yeah.
For no reason. I know when it's not going to change, but
Count Your Blessings did really well, actually. It did.
Yeah.
It just kept going too.
Yeah. It sure did.
It sure did. I was like, shit.
Progress, baby.
I was like, this is almost close to the mega teaser that we did. That was the worst audio ever.
Oh yeah.
So
That junk,
bad.
I did go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
I really wish you had. That was embarrassing.
I listened to it because of the number.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this joint got what?
What were they talking about? It was our, because here's the thing, and I think I told Mimi this too. It was our first impression.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a lot of people who are gonna go because you're gonna run,
what they doing?
Yeah, you're gonna run to see whether it's something that you can either clown,
yeah,
or it's really good. And if it's in the middle, the people move on.
Yeah.
And we were sort of in the middle. We weren't really bad, and we weren't really good yet. What? What do you think?
It was a little rough.
The audio was rough. The content
rough.
wasn't good.
No,
I see what you say. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like the audio was really rough, but the content was there, and like that's how a lot of like creators start out in the first place. You know, because it takes time to build up to be able to get that quality.
That's true.
Look at Picasso's first drawing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's literally our first drawing. But I wish we just literally cut on the mics. Literally,
and didn't check anything. Didn't do any sort of like show prep. Like it was just dive in and just kind of figure it out as you go.
I mean, look, y'all were already starting up a leg up because some people will start podcasts. They'll just like sit their iPhone on the table and hit the voice memo record joint.
That's true.
Like, you can literally just do it. You could do whatever. It don't matter. Y'all started out in a good place though.
Yeah, and I think we just learned from there. And we've had like a dedicated people who come to, and thank you for everyone that's done that, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's now that we can look at you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that's been there because it shows. Like we didn't go from like this many downloads at the mega teaser down to like 15, right? We've kept a pretty solid people coming
pretty
back
consistent.
to coming back to see us, and I was always appreciative of that, especially since how little promotion we've done. It's just people who just genuinely messed with the podcast.
Yeah.
And so anytime we miss a week, I always feel bad because it's like I don't want anybody going anywhere else to get the content. You know what I mean? So last week we had as Mimi said very eloquently on the PSA, that we had somebody that was close to me and Wally pass away. And, you know, it's tough talking about it to people who aren't a part of the group, who aren't a part of what with me and Wally come from, because it's tough just to say he was our friend. That's not doing it justice.
It's a lot more than that.
It's because it's a lot deeper bond, because if it was just a friend, people have plenty of friends in high school or that they grew up with around their neighborhood that they haven't seen or heard from in years. That wasn't the case for us. Like, I literally just saw him 2 months ago on the Instagram live video doing what we always do. Yep. And so, and I was just talking, one thing I did do a lot of when I found out the news is I did a lot of talking to everyone. I talked to your brother, talked a lot to Samp, talked to my man Anton, and just sharing stories and just trying to get through everything and try to rationalize and try to make sense of everything. And the one thing that I was able to understand is like it's more of a family, and not like a family in like a Fast and the Furious like marketing scheme of David, what is his name? David Toretto, like that kind of thing. But
you don't need luck when you got family.
Right? Like that wasn't what it was. Right. But it was really what we chose. There's plenty of stories I had no idea about. I was like, we used to just hang out at Morgan State and something just because it was, just because he was there. And I was like, pretty soon you were just hanging out with his friends with him not being there. It was just like, yo, that's so something.
That is something. Yeah, it's like for real.
Or Juan's calling him to figure out the move, and he's already balling with Juan's friends. But like that's kind of, but that's what it was. It was the brotherhood of like people who just genuinely liked being around one another, and everybody played their role. I think in a group, you also have to have the people who are like the solo people. You're gonna have to have the people, which sounds funny in your group, and you have to have the people with the egos, because you have to have those people who kind of push the group forward into different scenarios. Like, oh, I was over here off doing my own thing, and I've discovered this place. We should all go here, kind of thing. Yeah. And I also feel like what makes a group successful is having people who are genuinely fans of the group, who just want to be a part. And that was him. Yeah. He was
just down to be around with everybody. What we was all just doing. He'll come down the street to Will's house and just like come up in that junk and chill. It didn't matter what he was doing. You know what I mean? He'll hit somebody else. What y'all doing? We at so-and-so's house. He just show up. Even after, Juan went to Morgan State, graduated twice. You know what I'm saying? Did all that like work he was doing to like bring the GoGo scene to Baltimore. In between all of that, he would always just show up when we was like trying to go out to eat or something. You know what I mean? Like he was always around because like he rocked with us.
Yeah, and I think that's the part about it that like I never seen him down. I moved to Holloway in 2001, so I've known him because he was my next door neighbor. Right. I've known him for 20 years. I never seen him down because, like I said, when you're a fan of something, you're just really happy to be there. And he was a fan of the group and all the brothership. So he was always loved to be around us and always loved cracking jokes and loved being around it. Yep. You didn't have to go looking for him. He didn't fall off the face of the earth like some of us have. He was always there and present. And I think that's the part about it where that's why it made it a big loss to me is because it's like, you don't replace that energy. Nah. You don't replace anyone's energy, but you don't replace the enthusiasm of someone who just loved and supported everyone.
Yeah, he was a real good person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's nothing you could say that was negative about him. The only thing that you could say is that he was an annoying little brother, and that's just exactly what sometimes you need in a group is somebody who's just that. And that's what he was. And I think that was hard to get over. That was hard to deal with. I also want to say with people, anytime you're dealing with something like that, it's okay to deal with it in your own way.
Yeah, you kind of have to, you know, because what you need isn't necessarily going to line up with, you know, the other however many millions of people are in one little part of the country you live in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or what everybody needs or wants around you.
Yeah. Right. Like you gotta do what you need to do.
Yeah. So that was so I think I started to feel better, and where the week started turning around for me, or the past 2 weeks, was when I got a chance to talk to his mother.
Okay.
And that helped me out a lot because it helped me out because she was able to talk about things and have a little bit more perspective about some things than I had at the time.
Yeah. And
so that helped me be able to move forward and, put one step in front of the other in that sense. And so it was so ironic we named that episode Count Your Blessings. And it's so ironic that we were talking about, and I think even before I was talking about the date and about how I was like, like, come on, like you can't replace the currency of time. Mm-hmm. And I think when you lose someone, you start to understand how the currency of time is so important. It's something you can't get back.
Absolutely.
And it's something that you can't even, you can't barter with. It's something that you give willingly, and it's something that's very valuable. And I was honored to have that time with him. I was honored to have the time with everyone here. Yeah, and so when you have special people in your life, it's always good to salute them and tell them that. I know I do that painfully so, Mimi. It's to the point where Mimi gets a little uncomfortable with it, but I do that for a reason because I do value that I'm not owed anything. People don't owe you anything. They choose to donate whatever energy they want into your situation. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, it's important to value that and reciprocate that.
Like Juan been donating his energy to this group since him and John first met when they were in second grade. You know what I'm saying? Like that far back.
Yeah.
It's rough to lose someone like that.
Yeah. And we don't have to live here, but like I said, it's just important for you people to understand about like where we are in this mental space and that we're human beings just like everyone else. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't want to hide if I'm going to share with you about the Semi-Pro Joe's network and the 2000, you have to give the other stuff too, because you never know what anybody else is going through. So you always have to share that authenticity at all points in time. And so speaking of that authenticity and all the rest of that, I'm just going to have to pull an audible here. So
what?
Oh,
no, because I had it set up, but then I was like, I'm terrible with the whole transitioning. I'm just gonna go. So, stuff on Instagram has been pissing me off lately.
Ooh.
So, and this kind of leads into it. So, first off, there should never be on the internet. There should never be an age requirement to me. There should be an emotional requirement. You should be emotionally able to deal when you go on the internet, because the internet does not give two Fs how you feel. You gonna say something?
Well, you're gonna have to clarify what you mean by age limits and
What
such.
I'm saying, well, people feel like, oh, my 13-year-old daughter shouldn't be on, and all that stuff. I'm like, if it depends on where you're going on the internet, and like, you know, people get caught up in how old you should be to have your own Instagram or, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of what is your emotional, you know, intelligence when it comes down to that? How are you able to handle things?
Okay.
Because if you're emotionally able to let things roll off your back and keep it pushing and not take it so seriously and understand that it's just literally people trying to get their captions off and all the rest of that stuff, then you're good. But the second you start trying to take this shit seriously or start thinking that a like somehow influences your day or a like somehow
likes do influence people's days.
But if I'm putting out content on the internet, I'm not, for me, how I look at it, I'm not trying, I don't care if Susie Q likes it. I like it. I'm sharing it with the world. I understand the value in, there's so many more people that look at something that may not even say anything than there are that people that actually react to it.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's my intent.
Okay.
My intent isn't to get thousands of likes or 100 comments. But please comment on the Sydney Girls Network. All that is appreciated.
He doesn't care,
read it.
but he would still love for them likes.
I definitely would. You know, it helps with the algorithms. It helps make us litty. And but
oh my God.
But this is leading into a story. So I was not in a great place before mentioned, and so I was going through and I was posting something, and then I was looking on the stories on my Instagram, and somebody wrote a joke about vaccinations and stuff, and made a vaccine joke. I got triggered. Didn't much like the vaccine joke stuff. Not at that time. I don't think it's funny in general, but you know, in that moment,
especially not then.
Yeah. So I was like, we're not. I made a comment. Should have ignored it. Completely understand. Completely in the wrong. Should have ignored it, but didn't. So I made a cheeky comment and been like, I don't think something to the effect. And I was like, I don't think vaccinations is like the best joke. I didn't laugh at that. You know, I didn't go as far as being, this many people died or whatever, but I said that. The person shot something back at me, started talking about the person they've lost and how, you know, they thought it was funny and maybe you shouldn't be so sensitive. And I was like,
Oh.
So in that moment, I had a couple of choices because not everybody knows what you're going through. And like I said, I should have ignored it. I said, I'm in the wrong here. Wherever it happens here, I'm just going to eat it on the chin. I text back, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm, grieving right now, and my fault, have a good day. I thought that was the end of it, but then the person decided that, they were going to send me a couple of videos.
Oh, God.
One video said, yeah, it's cool. Just remember who you're talking to. Yo, listen. Well, I was go ahead.
So you bowed out gracefully.
Uh-huh.
And for most reasonable human beings, that's kind of the known, all right, that's how we leave this conversation. They apologized. I still have my comments out there. We can go our separate ways. This person, first of all, is just a troll looking for a fight.
Yo, like for real.
Or can I just say this? Or they're grieving, and they were triggered by my thing.
Maybe
what I wrote, and
maybe,
and I'll say that person is grieving, and what I wrote, although to me was tame and wasn't attacking her as much as it was attacking the post, they wasn't received that way.
Yeah,
and so when she's like, remember who I am kind of thing, I was just like, that was a little strong. But once again, I said, and then I clicked and double tapped liked on both videos. She sent another one saying, yeah, this year sucks and all the rest of that. So I double tapped both. And I was like, cool. Then, and here's where I say the older you get, you have to be not only choose your friends better, but you have to choose who you choose to have beef and your enemies even more carefully.
I'm sorry, I've been making the same face for like 2 minutes. What?
No.
Who the fuck? What? Hold on, yo. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Let me finish the story because
Yeah.
this is what it is. And I swear I'll let you cook. But here's the thing. But I said you have to choose. You got to choose your enemies too, because like the next day, that person posts, yeah, don't ever. I get 1,000 compliments every day.
Okay.
I get 1,000 compliments every day. Don't compliment me. Send me money. This is why I say you have to be careful. I don't, and this is not a disrespect to that person. This isn't me using big boying you on my platform. This is me saying I don't respect that type of talk or behavior.
Yeah, nah.
So if you don't respect something like that and you see someone standing next to it, why beef with them? You should only beef with somebody that you actually have some modicum of respect for, or else what are you doing it
It ain't
for?
gonna go nowhere.
Yeah. So why put energy on something that you shouldn't?
I get that because, like, if I hear somebody says that to me, if that's what they send back, my first thought is, I'ma slap the shit out you. It's on sight. Who do you think you are? What? Don't you better remember who I am, boy. You gonna be remembering these knuckles. It's like but for real, yeah.
But
like,
no, but for real,
for real, like in all honesty, that's the response I get back. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what? Who?
But here's the thing: I felt the exact same way, and I felt like the person who sent it wasn't aggressive enough to send something like that.
That makes it even worse.
But here's the thing: you, like I said, you have to be discerning and understand that person isn't in a good place. Mm-hmm. So maybe that didn't even come off the way they wanted to. And you also have to be discerning and understand, I don't want to beef with this person. I'm not going to get anything out of it. It's not willing to, like, you don't win when two people who are grieving and who probably aren't even mad at each other, really. They're just mad at circumstances, are going back and forth. This is why I think people have to take a step back. And sometimes not everything is meant to be won. I've always been in a position where you have to storm every castle and take over everything, and there's no fight is going to be ever let go. But you have to realize, what are you putting your energy behind? I would much rather put my energy behind the Semi-Pro Joe's network. Mm-hmm. I'd much rather put my energy behind the people who stand by me and who support me. That's where my energy should be. It shouldn't be on internet beefs where things can easily be misconstrued.
Yeah, like honestly, if I was in your situation, it would have went a little different. Because like when I got that video back, I would have like cooked the shit out of that person and then blocked them like just like an hour later just to make sure they saw the message.
That's 100% what my husband.
And then,
that's what my husband.
I'm just
gonna
remove myself. You know what I'm saying? Like nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what my husband would have done. His favorite phrase is, "I don't retaliate. I escalate." That's his strategy. He does not retaliate. He escalates.
Getting back to the topic.
Yeah, man, we digress. Sorry. Sorry.
I need you to speak for all women. No, I'm joking.
I can't even speak for all white women. Never mind the entirety of my
She's
gender.
like, I'm sorry, Karen. I'm out on this.
I know. We got a similar haircut, but you and I do not break bread together. I am sorry.
Yo, Mimi's the shit.
I am sorry.
I've been trying to tell people for years. They're not hearing me. This mic is not on.
Oh my God, yo.
Mimi's dope. If I can get her, out here, she's good. No,
that's hilarious.
But no,
I will offer my opinion as a female, though.
But please,
there you go.
What you got?
And this may be an old school way of thinking. I think a man's two basic things when he's providing into a relationship is to provide and to protect.
That's nice.
That's my thought process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I can understand the whole provide notion when a woman's like, so send me money.
Okay.
Because that's a form of providing. But what I don't understand is above compliments and above all else, in order for me to get your attention, I must now give you money.
There's a profession for that. There's a few professions for that, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't judge any of them, and shout outs to all the hardworking girls out there. My thing about it is, and I think I said this to you in the break room, if the new rules of the game, because I've seen this, I sent y'all one the other night where it wasn't, and that wasn't the same comment. That was a different person that said something similar.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother comment.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if this is kind of the vibes and the energy that's coming out here into the world, it just seems like I don't care if I pay for something. I don't care how many dates we go on. I don't care how things, quote, air quotes, get serious between us. I will always remember I had to pay for your attention. And I paid for that chair over there. So I don't really value that chair's feelings because I paid for it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay, yeah, So I'm following your train of thought so far.
So I don't understand why, if equality's been boosted out here and as well it should be, and it's I don't get where now it's the whole notion that you want me to send you money in order to get your attention. That seems like you're always going to be a call girl to me.
Well, I think first things we need to dispense with the idea that that's the majority mindset. I truly don't.
I'm just saying about that energy.
That particular strain of energy, like all fringe strains of different kinds of weird energy, it is what it is, and it tickles someone's fancy somewhere out there on the planet. So I mean, it's not my cup of tea. Like for me, if I'm trying to actually get someone's attention, build a relationship with someone, earn their legitimate respect. For me as a person, the entirety of me, not for what I can financially provide, not what I look like, not any of my skill sets, just me as the whole package. That's how I choose to roll through life, because I'm of the understanding that a human being has layers, should have layers at least. And where one layer may end up lacking in time, either looks, because we all get older. It's just, we're not going to be 10s forever. It just is what it is. So if I have built my connections with people based purely on how I look, that's really bad short-term investment for also equally bad long-term gains. Because at some point, what I'm offering now, i.e. my aesthetic, will no longer be of value to people. So if that's all I've built my independence on, that's poor planning on my part. So I don't think in the terms of that it's a movement, so to speak. I don't think it's a movement.
That energy's out there. I've heard that said.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm just saying I don't know if it's something that in a wholesale perspective, I don't think it's something that most people need to be worrying about. And look, when you started explaining that concept to me in the break room, I was like, so sugar baby to sugar daddy or sugar mama, however way you roll. That lifestyle works for people. If you make your money and you pave your way in the world by
sugar baby.
So typically a younger, normally female, seeking the attention and financial, gains from usually older, wealthy men who are lonely, who need companionship. Sometimes it's sexually based, sometimes it's not. But at some point, the whole idea of pay me to be around you, at some point isn't going to fly. It's just not. If it's based purely just on what you look like.
Or just in general, or if what happens when the money isn't going well, you're just going to go to the next person.
Yeah. That's how those folks roll. And again, if that's how they live their life, and if other people are totally okay with being on the receiving end of that, that's their choice. For me, that's not. There's next to nothing that's appealing about that kind of lifestyle for me.
I know your jersey's retired, James, but Wally. So, but what's your thought process on it?
I feel like maybe you're thinking a little bit too deep into that statement, that comment, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Pay me for my time. I think just there might be a lot of women out there, and this probably does go for a large amount of them, but there's a lot of women out there who are tired of, you know, the dudes only really bringing fucking compliments to the table. Like all you can do is say nice shit, and then everything else you fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like from, you know, not every guy's a bad partner or anything by any means, but like, you know, you've got stuff like that, or like, you know, the time in our, you know, when we were younger where it was popular to like dog girls in certain ways, you know what I mean? And certain stuff like that. People, they tired of this shit. It's just like black people tired of certain shit that's been going on forever, right? Women are tired of certain shit that's been going on forever. And like we're at a point where a lot of these different groups of people are able to like speak and like tell people what they want. And I think all they really saying is, can y'all shut the fuck up? Like, I'm just trying to walk down the street, go where I got to go. I'm not trying to feel a whole bunch of people's energy all the time, most of it which is going to fizzle out at some point. Like, just like, if you got something to say, like, put some money in my pocket. That's what I really need. What's good? And if you got something else to offer, like, go ahead and offer that shit. But fuck them compliments, dog. Like,
and see that perspective, nothing. It needed that whole perspective over there, because I feel that perspective. It didn't occur to me, but that also equally makes sense. If you're talking about, rather than taking that idea like literally and transferring it to like metaphorically or figuratively, yeah, he's absolutely right. Like there's also women out there that are just like, I can't do anything with your compliments. I can't.
Yeah, like that what you said is nice, and that makes me feel good for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, but what am I going to do with that? Now, if you're talking about literal, I have issues with it. If you're talking about, if you're just trying to make a point, like if you're just trying to make a point, like just I'm all on Wally B's like mindset with that.
All that's cool till I have to give up Franklin's. Yeah. all that don't give me compliment. Hey, I will not compliment you if that's what
Franklin's,
it's about.
Huh?
Yeah, what's up?
You got it, bro. I mean,
hey, listen,
just throwing out Franklin's to my OnlyFans or something.
Wasn't that where your beloved Cinnamon works, or what's her name?
It always goes back to the girl from Bass and Cruz.
That's
it always goes back.
That was a good like 10 years ago, yo. Like lots happened in life since then.
All roads lead back. But here's the thing. I think so, and I said this to you before too. It's like a guy is always spending some sort of currency when it comes down to with women. So I'm not against spending a form of currency. You're either spending time, you're spending money, or your effort and energy.
Yeah, those three things are the most important currency that anyone has: time, money, and energy, right?
Yeah, right. So you're always spending those things. So I'm not about that. I'm just saying in order to win nothing that I say or nothing or how I treat you plays into it. Now it's just about send me money is where I have the issue, because then now I bought you.
So then don't date women like that.
Put it like this, right? So that woman who says that, right? Her mindset is probably something to the effect of, if you're the kind of guy that like compliments is something that's in your utility belt, you know, so it's something that you use a lot. Like you give compliments, like you know that when you say these nice things to these people, it makes them feel good, and it's like something you use. I think what she's saying is like, if that's like one of your main things, if that's your battering, you know what I mean? I'm cool. Like, I don't want none of that other shit from you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you fit in that box, money over compliments, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not that kind of person though, you know, I don't know what I can infer past the original statement, but like, I feel like if you don't fit in that box, then there may be something there, but I ain't talking about them people.
Okay.
Because then the purpose of your compliments also, the intent behind them also means something totally different as well. Like, it's one thing. It's the same reason why like there's women out there now who don't want to go to co-ed gyms anymore, because it's like they can't go and just exist in the gym and do their thing without someone coming up and going, your form's amazing, but can I show you this? Or, oh, you're, you know, like constantly being nitpicked, but like, you do this nice, but you can do this better. Here, babe, let me show you. You know, that kind of thing where it's like,
Those are nice guys.
Yeah, those are nice guys.
Like,
but
you know
it's just like, let me live my life. If you're not going to benefit my life in some practical way, leave me alone. And maybe that's also another way to look at it. It's like if your compliment is just to hear yourself talk, I can't do anything with that. I'd rather you leave me alone.
Like, I definitely feel what you're saying. Like when you started, like the just looking at that objectively, if you take it literal, which it happens. Like people do think and say that. Like, yeah, I get why you got a problem with it. Like it's like, okay, like come on, yo.
Like the women who expect men to pay for everything because I'm a woman and he's a man, so he should pay for everything.
Yeah, that kind of.
No. I don't.
But I think that message was more of a general mindset kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just like in general, I don't want none of that shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You keep that over there.
Speaking of more men and women and man dynamics. My boy Cuomo was in the news.
So you don't call him your boy.
Please don't call him your boy.
My boy Andrew.
Oh, no.
Andrew Cuomo. Well, because the reason why I call him my boy is not because I know him personally or like me and him, I voted for him or anything. Oh, I'm not in New York. I couldn't do it anyway.
You're not in New York.
But no, I think there was like a former topic on one of our very first episodes that got left on the cutting room floor.
Probably.
Because, I wanted to talk about Andrew Cuomo, and Mimi vetoed it and said we have to give it more time, which is I completely understood the allegations that just came out, and it made more sense to do it that way because you want to make sure that you're giving a fair and honest critique on both sides. Mm-hmm. But now there's been a whole investigation, and when there's been a resignation.
Yep, your boy stepped down.
So that's not interesting to me. The part that's interesting to me is what it wasn't like. Yeah, that's political theater. That's what happened. The guy was being nasty, and that's true. Mm. The part about it that made it interesting to me was what he said in the press conference, and the part specifically what he said was the Overton window on what's acceptable, maybe not what's right, but what's acceptable in the office space. And within male and female interactions has moved from when it was when he was growing up and even what it was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And what was acceptable, maybe not what was right, but what was acceptable then is not now. Mm-hmm. And he is a person who is now being judged, some may say rightfully so, for those actions.
Me included.
Now. But was not judged for those actions at the time.
Right.
Now, I'm not a big fan of retroactive punishment because I find that's it can get a little witch hunty and it can get a little glass mirror.
It can.
Because
it can.
If you go in my past, I've said some pretty terrible things about a lot of different people. Yep. And I'm pretty sure you can look at that with a lot of different people. No one's squeaky clean out here.
No, that's true.
So that's where my thing is. I think that's an interesting conversation of, is it okay to then retroactively punish people for male and female interactions? Because here's a story you don't know, Wally. Mm-hmm. I've told Mimi this.
Okay.
I was in an entanglement.
Oh my God.
with the. Well, because what is that? I don't know what you call the phase when you break up with someone, but you still kick it. You know what I'm talking about?
Being toxic?
Codependent?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I know what stage you're talking about.
Yeah, well, y'all still kind of occasionally, yeah. So, what? What's up, Mimi?
I'm just giggling because that's never been my MO. For me, I very much am an addict to clean breaks. I don't do that lingering shit. I don't do that. I did it once, never again. I was this is why. I did it the one time, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I do clean breaks, because this is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm about to say that whole never thing got real cleaned
one
up
time,
really quick.
And it was a beautiful, perfect reminder as to why I do clean breaks.
Well, and like I said, not defending the in-between time, because as you know, I don't like gray areas. But, when you come down to male and female interactions and stuff, sometimes you get into a gray area. And I was in a gray area here. We had broken up, but then we still were kicking it. and it was seeming like it was headed back towards maybe a reconciliation. That phase. So I would say one thing that would happen was I would, as what happens, you kiss someone, and that wasn't like, ooh, hey, somebody I've hooked up with. Is it okay if I kiss you right now? Like that does not happen. That does not happen because that has already. It's sort of like the touch barrier. That barrier has already been, established. So she went to go to Las Vegas. She wouldn't mind me telling this story, but she went to go to Vegas. I kissed her, and I was like, and I told her good luck, and I told her I'd call her when she went to Vegas. I did. She answered. It was cool. She came back from Vegas. And I saw her. I was happy to see her. And, I pulled her off to the side. She started telling me about Vegas. And then I went in to go in for a kiss. She stopped me immediately. And I was like, no, don't do that.
Okay.
Now, those in today's society, in today's culture, if she was going to tell the story and say, he forced himself on me, and she left out all the other context, that would be true. I did force a kiss on her. There's more to the story than that, but if she was to come out, if this podcast became big and she came out and said, this is what he did in the past, you get all the Me Too people to be like, he's toxic and he doesn't treat women with respect or whatever because of that. I never violated that boundary with her again once it was established that that's not where we were anymore. I did not do that. And me and this person are cool. But if you take it in a vacuum, that's what happened. I did not get her consent to kiss her, but then I hadn't been doing that anyway, and it was fine.
I don't think
you had received prior consent, like prior, as we say at work, informed consent, like prior to. You had established that already. Unless she changed that and said, "Hey, something's happened," or I've made up my mind. I'm just not wanting to do this back and forth anymore. So let's not do that anymore.
And that wasn't done.
I think part of it's probably got to do with, the fact that consent isn't like 100% verbal either. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot of implied consent.
Yeah, like
we have
body
informed
language
and
is
implied consent.
You know what I mean? Like if you're in the situation and like, y'all are vibing off of each other in that way, like you both kind of know that something could or would happen. You know what I mean? I don't think that really would qualify as you forcing yourself on somebody if y'all were like or hanging out or whatever y'all were doing.
I'm saying,
You mean if someone tried to spin that story?
Yeah, I'm saying, if you leave the context out,
Okay.
and you just because that's what we hear in them. That's what we hear in the when people tell these stories.
Yeah.
There is no context. There is no subtext. We have no idea what led into the other. We just heard this person did this.
Right.
We don't know what their relationship was like prior to or what was happening before. You just hear the allegation.
Right.
And I think that's very important. I am not excusing any of these men.
Yeah.
But I do want that to be said too. That if you're going, you have to also leave room for things to be investigated and be thoroughly checked because you don't know all the details. You just know one side and you just know the allegation.
Right. And that's why I wanted us to hang back on this subject because we had all that shoe had just fallen really, and more information was being discovered. I think at the time only 5 women had come forward.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Now there's 11.
Yeah,
there's 11,
yeah.
And their stories have been researched and vetted and have text messages and other people, witnesses.
Yeah.
So that's what ended up happening. Where he can get on there and say whatever he wants. The investigation said 11 people accused you of this, maybe even more accused you, but we could substantiate these 11 claims.
Right.
And we deemed them to be credible due to a variety of reasons.
Right. And I think because you were, I think, trying to get like an idea of how I felt about the situation now as compared to then, because I'm like, because you had said how you don't like how we retroactively go after people for stuff. And I'm like, that's true. And I to an extent think, I don't know if like comics, for like comedians, for jokes that they told 20 years ago that they're now being raked through the coals for. I don't agree with that at all, because
that happens a lot, and I feel
it's
like
wrong.
it should only be a problem if that person if it was repeated behavior. You know what I'm saying?
If it's a pattern and it's still relevant even up till today.
A lot of these guys made a couple fucked up jokes at certain times based on certain current events at the time or whatever.
Right.
And then there's other people who've been making these fucked up jokes, drop them into stand-up routines for years. And the latest one they saw was last year. And then everybody goes back and finds out he just been like this. You know what I mean?
So with Cuomo.
It's just weird, but yeah.
And him being at first him being I'm not resigning, or this is ridiculous, it's a witch hunt, blah, blah, blah. I would maybe be able to believe that if it had not been less than 2 years ago where he stood up and gave basically a detailed dissertation about what inappropriate behavior in a workplace consisted of.
That part there is what really made me think, okay, he's a scumbag.
He spelled it out. He gave this speech about how he disagreed with I think it was one of the courts in New York. He was talking about a specific case where they had basically ruled in favor of the person who was accused of inappropriate behavior. And how he was the law says, inappropriate behavior has to be pervasive and it has to be, all these other things. And he's basically saying he was appalled that things had to be bad enough and consistent enough to be considered inappropriate behavior, where he himself is doing the exact same behavior. So if he had not been so articulate, as a matter of fact, he led the way to law reforms in New York for employees to be able to make it easier to bring sexual assault allegation charges against their superiors and things. He led the charge basically in that.
And who do you think will be best equipped to skate by some kind of rules like that than the person who brought it to the forefront and knows all the details?
Yeah. So for him to be I grew up in a different time, or that's just how I am, or I now understand that, times are different and things aren't acceptable anymore. My guy.
Man. That's the part that really blew me, because he talking about how the way, that one part where you said he was talking about the way workplace standards are, they've shifted. It's changed. The way you're able to interact with coworkers is just different now.
They've been shifted.
The thing about it, though, is all the shit that people are really honing in on is stuff that's always been messed up and people have always had a problem with. It's just that the response was able to be, shut up. I'm your boss and I tell you what to do, woman. Go make me a copy.
Right. You want to keep your job?
There was literally nowhere you could go with it. Yeah.
Jesus, what?
That's how it is.
No
That's
bull.
How it was. That's how it was. You like your job? I got another job for you. Come here.
And then you gotta forget, it was
another job for
it was
you.
like that in the 60s and 70s, and then right before that was when a woman working period was just taboo in this country. You know what I'm saying?
That didn't really change till after during World War II, when there was a lack of men men because of the war.
Yeah.
A lot of the women had to take up a lot of those jobs in order to, help out in the war effort. And
so it's still only out of absolute necessity that they even let women work, period. You know what I'm saying?
And then when the men came back, they expected them to immediately go back to the kitchen.
Yeah,
right.
Why aren't you pregnant yet?
That ship had sailed.
Basically, it's just this is one of the examples of some shit that people have been yelling about forever, and then now people are just starting to hear a piece of it. The fact that he said that means that he is that big of a scumbag, you are.
Yeah.
These issues are not old. They're not something that's all of a sudden this problem. It's just the fact that you can hear the people talking about the problem now.
Yeah. And acknowledging the fact that something needs to be done about it.
Right, exactly.
That's the thing.
Okay.
So,
enough of talking about the scumbag guys. So I guess, our last topic is going to be explaining the new setup we have going on here. For everybody that listens to the podcast regularly, or either on iHeartRadio or Apple Podcast, nothing will change. But if you want to see our lovely faces and what we're going to be wearing and the presentation and some of the more colorful shirts I'm going to be rocking pretty soon.
Don't criticize the fact that I have no fashion sense. I already know. Just
She laid it out.
She's
there.
like,
I
so
already know.
before the comment section, you see, did you just 8 Mile yourself? You she just
Mom spaghetti. Yes, I did.
Damn, true.
So no, so us three are launching the Semi Pro Joe's Network on YouTube, and it will be all the stuff that we don't normally say on the pod. So all the things like album reactions, TV show reactions,
Ask
movies.
a therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask a therapist.
He didn't like that one.
Ask a therapist with Mimi.
Hey, listen, if Beyonce wants to have her own show,
Okay,
upset that I have a TikTok.
This is more Migos than Destiny's Child, right? Like the Migos all put out solo albums and like got their own thing going on, but you know what you don't ever question? They the Migos.
Right.
They gonna come back.
You gotta have
Together.
more faith in our group.
he said we're the Migos. And
Yes.
Destiny's Child.
Come on, man. Like don't be mislabeling us.
Quit calling me Beyonce.
No, but
Because behind Beyonce, there's a Jay-Z, and that shit that's not what this whole situation is. I'm fairly certain that Mimi is not with a Jay-Z type of person.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think
No.
we good. That we're not Destiny's Child. No disrespect to them because Beyonce's a legend. She's just a little much sometimes.
Illuminati's not
Not
telling me
her,
what
just
to do.
the spectacle of Beyonce.
Yeah.
The fervor around her.
The brand of that is Beyonce.
You're criticizing the Beehive, not Beyonce.
I'm not criticizing the Beehive because I don't want to die.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's
but
not
I'd
bring
rather-
that kind of. No, we're not. No.
but see, the Beehive only react. The Beehive doesn't mind you talk about their fandom. They just mind you talking about her.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I'm gonna be very honest with you. You said a comment and it was talking about Beyonce, and I got someone who told me I was all mad. I was going, "Do not come for Bey," and I was like, but she was like, "Yeah, I listened further. He wasn't. I didn't like that song."
Yeah, I think I
either."
said pretty much what I just said, which was like the spectacle of Beyonce's.
Yeah, but like
it sounded like a little more
It sounded like
aggressive
a
than
dig.
that.
It sounded like a dig, and it was
Yeah,
not
nah.
received well. So I just wanted to be clear about
like Taylor Swift Swifties and Lady Gaga's Monsters.
we
We gotta
okay.
leave them all alone.
We don't.
I don't know.
respect
We leave them all alone.
I don't give a shit.
We don't
I
respect
I
that.
cook the shit out of a Taylor Swift fan. Though.
Yeah, that is. We don't
They
respect
can
that.
catch this wreck.
That's not going to get us in trouble at the cookout.
Nah, bro, not at all. Might get us some fans.
We might get stripes off. Yeah, Beyonce. We may have problems at the cookout.
Yeah. So like, all I'm saying is like, let's reframe this the correct way. We the Migos. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like we come in here together, and then Quavo put out his album, and then Offset put out his junk, and then Takeoff put his out, and then Culture 3.
No,
There it is.
we're like Voltron. So
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So, yeah, there we go. But so yeah, no. So we really proud of this, and we just want to provide more content because we have other facets. There's a show that me and Mimi December. Why am I saying this wrong? Why am I?
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
This December called The Witcher that we would love to.
Oh yeah.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Or
Okay.
I didn't know you watched it. So yeah, okay, all three of us can, and that's the thing. There's going to be certain things that it's going to be just me and Wally. There's going to be certain things that's just me and Mimi. Something that
Just
me
gonna do a lot of.
just going to have a lot of things just going on, and we just want to make sure that we cover all our bases. So if, like I said, we just want to make sure that people have a place to go to have they hear our stuff on a lot of different ages. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's like, well, yeah, we love what you talked about this week, but you didn't talk about this. And so like I
just
think
like kind of expand our little our little reach. You know what I'm saying?
That's
To
why I'm
have other
excited for the
people
video.
involved.
Because with the comments, it can kind of help direct us like, okay, well, here's what you guys either would like to hear more of or would like to hear just initially, or maybe there's stuff that we talk about that some people are like,
Yeah.
that's cool, I guess.
yeah, I mean, but also I'm more or less about the, just to know what you want to hear more of.
Absolutely.
So that will be, well, do you have a word?
I always have a word.
Okay, well.
This week
Okay.
is the letter P.
Okay.
The word is panivorous.
Panivorous.
Panivorous. Panivorous. Ivorous, panivorous.
So pan usually means about like the collection of a lot of different things, like all in one sort of thing.
It can.
And nivorous, is it like?
I say like pannivorous, like able to like take in a lot at one time.
You know what I mean? You could, in the context of this word, yeah. I mean, you could, yeah. But that's, yeah, kind of. But the
Eating
word,
a lot of food, a lot of meat.
You're on the right track with the eating thing.
Go ahead.
The word panivorous means bread eater.
Bread eater.
Yeah. Pan is also another word to say, like, way to say bread.
Damn it.
So when one is panivorous, it means, my babies, you love your bread. And
Nivorous is
eater, consumer.
Yeah.
I
Like
live
when
with a
something is
panivorous
carnivorous,
person. I definitely live
meat
with
eater.
a panivorous person.
Yeah.
She loves bread.
I love me some bread. Oh my.
Like Oprah. I love bread.
You get bread. You get bread. You get bread.
Yo, if I went to Oprah and she left like a little thing of Hawaiian bread rolls underneath everybody's chair.
King's Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, yo, that should be tight.
No, I wouldn't be in the least bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Oprah, send us bread.
Yeah, please, Oprah, if you see this,
Send us bread.
I mean, you know, some bread and bread.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Feel
Like,
free to
you got a lot of
misinterpret.
that.
Feel free to misinterpret and send us actual money.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. We don't mind. We don't mind.
See, when it comes down to me and women, I don't like that. But if it's me, you could send me money, okay?
You just had to throw some shit in the pot at the end, huh?
You were just waiting to use that in some way, weren't you? Oh, God.
And on that note, we love you guys for tuning in another week. And we will hopefully, Lord willing and the creek doesn't rise, we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
All righty.
Y'all.
Bye.